need to read this book.
What's the book about?
It's a book that started a revolution and inspired a nation, written by Jack Kerr, back in 1985. It explains how hemp can reduce pollution, rebuild soil and clean the atmosphere.
I want to read that book.
That's good.
For everything. In the 20s, studies came out that hemp paper was better than pulp paper. Studies came out creating new products, materials, fabrics with hemp. A machine came out to be able to harvest hemp better.
Cannabis and commerce in cannabis has all been part of the fabric of all nations. It was part of their economic development. It is part of the reasons why we've been able to circumnavigate the globe with our cannabis sales. The sealants for the ships that sail the oceans were all sealed with cannabis. Everything about commerce and interstate and international business was all based in cannabis, and the success amongst every country and the need in every country to develop cannabis. Coming to the United States in the 1600s, it was one of the first laws that producing farms needed to grow cannabis, and they could pay their taxes at those times with cannabis, and at sometimes were even regulated to actually grow cannabis or face fines or jail for not growing it. That was pretty much true all the way up through the 1850s. In the early 1900s, the United States government, through the Department of Treasury, and if you think about cannabis and commerce, it all comes down to money, especially from a industrial standpoint, a corporate standpoint, and a tax revenue standpoint. The government prints money, we build businesses, they print more money. Our currency in the United States represents everything of who we are as a nation. It represents our founding fathers, the ideas that are the creation of the freedoms that we hope to enjoy and we believe that we should enjoy in this nation. On the back of our currency, it depicts all of the things, the dedication, the monuments to our founding fathers, whether it's Lincoln or Jefferson, whether it's the White House or the state capitol. It says, this is who we are as Americans. These are our ideas. These are our founding fathers. In 1914, the U.S. Department of Treasury printed this bill on hemp paper. This bill on the back depicts cannabis farming in America. Cannabis farming. Of all plants, of all crops, of all the things that are important to this developing country through the 17, 18, and early 1900s, why did this Department of Treasury depict cannabis farming as what represents us as Americans, what represents our ideas and our beliefs in what this country stands for? Why not corn? Why not wheat? Why not anything else? Why cannabis? Because it was the single most important, most necessary crop known to this country, and it is what it has been described by Thomas Jefferson as the health, wealth, and security of this nation. As it became recognized as a threat to the emerging markets that were opposite to what this product, what this plant could create, it was then demonized and removed from our history. And my guess is that many of you, if any, knew that this bill existed, knew that our government stood up for cannabis, depicted it on the currency that represents us as a nation, and that what all nations around the world, for the most part, look to the American dollar as a sense of strength and a level of commerce that most nations want to achieve. The fact that this has been removed from our history and is now being reintroduced through education is astounding that we're having to fight for this understanding. So as we move forward, please, look at your history. It will help you to find out where we're going to go in the future. Know that this government at one time actually expressed the truth about cannabis and its importance. Don't ever forget that the history that belongs to all of us needs to also belong to the future as well.
When the woody core breaks away readily, like this, the hemp is about ready to take up and bind into bundles.